guys, but again, running the football, it's a physical attitude as much as anything, and it's not just up front. It's with backs finishing and the way they go in, accelerating into contact and receivers blocking and so forth. And 11 guys contribute to the run game, but we've got to be a physical run team. It rears its head in every game. There's some point in time where you have to make a yard or you've got to bang out a first down. And, there's just more of an attitude about it than anything else, and we've got to get that attitude.
In an ideal world, will this offense be similar to any offense you've run at previous coaching stops, or have you sort of tailored everything to what you
Well,
saw
it's a work in progress, and we'll tailor it to our players. But again, every offense don't turn the football over, have the ability to run the football, have the ability to have explosive plays. There's no ways around it. You've got to create those things. Now, explosive plays are different with different type of skill players, or different quarterbacks. But we've got to be able to get chunk plays. We've got to protect the football. We've got to be able to run it. How we do it, that's, like I said, a work in progress.
What do you have in mind for the fullback?
Well, we're developing there. We've got to find, and by fullback, there's some two-back things we'd like to do and line up and bang around in there with a fullback. But again, it's going to depend on who that is and how well and how productive they are. We certainly have the ability to get a second or third tight end in the game, and depending on what they are, we can manufacture some run and pass game, based on those guys as well. So, but coming out of spring football, we've got a ways to go. We've got to develop a fullback. There's no question.
Do you think that run game toughness was lacking when you got here? When you looked at what you had?
I didn't pass judgment on anybody by design. I didn't want to look at too much at last year and say this guy plays well or this guy did. We just all started on a fresh note and started when spring ball started. And I like our want to. I like our attitude, and I think we'll get there.
Has it been more or less challenging for you to evaluate two quarterbacks, two of your three quarterbacks, at least from the spring, that don't have any film from last year?
Well, again, I didn't want to see anything from last year. I just wanted to see what they did in the spring, and what are you doing right now for me, and how good a summer have you had? Those sort of things. And again, from a effort, work ethic, want to standpoint, you can't find two better guys than David and Grayson.
Steve, you are one of three former head coaches on the offensive side of the ball. Have you been in that situation before, and what is that dynamic like, kind of in the meeting room?
Do you mean being around other head coaches?
Or just on an offensive staff that has three
former
head coaches?
Like Larry Lewis is one of them, and I
Yeah.
coached with Larry at Colorado State. So again, I think I thought this as a head coach. I thought this as a coordinator. I would think this if I went out in private business. I think the more you can surround yourself with good people, the better your product's going to be. So I like having experienced guys that have been down the road a little bit and can bring something to the table when things are going right.
Hey, what kind of talent do you think Jake McGee? He seems like somebody who
just appears to be a playmaker. We didn't see as much of Jake in the spring as we would have liked because of some class things, but appears to be a guy that, like I said, the playmaker can go get the football. Made some real strides in the run game, put his hand on the ground blocking this spring. He still, obviously has a way to go there, but there's no way, shape, or form of getting around it. You got to have guys that make plays, and he appears to be one of those guys that even if he's not open, has got a chance of getting the football and making something happen. So I'm excited. We'll just develop and see what he does.
You might not be able to answer this until you actually get him on this field, but is there a thing to get creative with a guy like Daquan Mizell to?
Yeah, I'm excited just based on, I did look at his recruiting tape and obviously got to know him a little bit and excited about what he maybe can bring to the table. Again, he's still, anybody new, you don't want to be counting on too much, but we're certainly going to find out what he can do here once we get going.
Sorry. As a new coach, how's the transition going for you guys? And are you guys getting pretty comfortable in the setting and in the elements of the game?
I would think very setting. We got this is a wonderful place, first of all, and we've got some very, very good people, not just on our staff, but throughout the athletic department. And it's been smooth and been really nice. This is a nice place to go to work.
Does this experience thus far remind you of any of your previous stops, or has it been such a foreign experience so far that you can't compare?
I don't know once we get into the season. every job, there's a lot of carryover, I guess, you know, I mean, installing an offense, developing a quarterback, you know, all those things are the same from place to place. So I mean, there's a lot of similarities, but like I said, this is a wonderful place and a lot of really good people in that building.
How much of an adjustment will it be for Morgan to play left tackle for the first time?
You know, it doesn't appear to be much just based on the spring. He's very, very talented. I thought he had a great spring. You know, wish we had 5 guys like him up for him. He's really, he has a lot of ability, and we're expecting big things out of him this year.
On the other side, Jay Whitmire, obviously a big size. Just talk about kind of.
Well, he really came on in the spring. Really, you know, he earned that starting job pretty quick. It didn't take us long to figure out he was the guy that belonged in the starting 5. You know, again, talented guy, and it's tough to play on an edge. And, you know, he's going to be a challenge, but certainly has the length and body type to play.
Steve, you mentioned Larry